welcome to That One Video Galaxy podcast. I'm Jirard.
I'm Al.
You think?
I mean, sorry, it's so weird not having Brett here.
Brett's not here. Let's do it again. Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast. I'm Jirard.
I'm Al.
I'm not Brett Bayonne. I'm Chris.
Do you really have to clarify who you are,
Well,
Chris?
I mean, we're similar looking in a lot of ways.
You look nothing.
And so, like, you know, we got the same haircut.
So let me show you how to talk into a mic, Chris.
Get a little closer.
Get
a little closer. Get closer.
I want you to
I'm gonna move this.
Bring it closer.
Yeah. Get a little closer.
Don't talk quieter.
Just talk.
I need you to talk
like
normally into the mic as if you're talking.
Okay, well, we'll just talk like this. We're good. Yeah.
I think we're better. I think you're getting better.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's just like I always feel like it's like a thing in my face.
Do not
you know?
worry about it.
Great. Okay.
We're having conversations like sidebar conversations.
Hashtag sidebars. Okay.
Guys, this is Chris.
Hi.
He is the editor for Super Beard Bros. You may recognize his face if you're a Beard Bros fan, appearing with rainbows for like a single frame.
Mm-hmm.
He also appeared in Mario's Missing to get us really drunk for that series. That was incredible. Brett, this is a message for you, my dude. What happened to your show, mate? You forgot about us. You literally, Brett just decided not to show up to work today. There's no excuse. Brett just didn't show up. I guess they were working with Couch Fighters. And they were forgetting. I guess they were like, "Oh, we're not going to do Couch Fighters." But then he forgot about the podcast. Well, guess what? The podcast still lives, Brett. Talking to you, Brett. The show must go on. No, we love Brett. Brett, get better if you're sick. I don't know what's going on with Brett. He's just not here today. But before we start today's episode, Al, I gave you some homework last week.
Oh.
You see that face? That's the face of a man that forgot he had an assignment.
God, in high school all over again.
That was like, oh no.
It's high school all over again. When the teacher goes, your assignment is due.
Mr. Galletti, it's your turn to present.
Al, can you give that look real quick? Just one more time. Hold on, do it again. I want the microphone out of your face. I just want is it in? Okay, now do it. Great. Just that I want that to be gifable. I want that to be an emoticon. I want that to be our TOVG chat emote.
Galletti.
You know that one dude in Twitch chat who's like, about his hair's all like back. That's now Al's version of that for us. So Al, your homework assignment was to play Transformers, the free game that came with PS Plus last week, and you did not.
Can I get partial credit? I did download it.
You did? Oh, so partial credit? Al, I'm your best friend, not your fucking teacher. It's okay, man. I forgive you.
Thank you.
But we're not. But you know what? How about this? Brett's not here, so we'll let it pass because he's not here.
Ooh, teacher took a day off.
Yeah, we'll let, because he was the one who said you had to play it.
All right.
But since he's not here, the teacher played hooky is what it is.
Oh.
So, 20 minutes, teacher doesn't show up, we get to leave. Chris, confirm or deny?
That's a fact. I have been late to class as a teacher, and my students were gone.
That's right. So Chris is a former teacher, now gone YouTube editor.
We're like sideways moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just shifting back and forth between.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. This is the podcast where we talk about whatever we want. Today we've just been in such a silly mood. It's been a really long and rough week. We just thought that we would we'll have another discussion about The Office. What do you guys want to talk about The Office today? Anything?
Well, we could kind of go into for me, I think something cool is like the dynamic between everybody is kind of an interesting thing to think about because no one ever really thinks about this is really businessy, but workflow and synergy and all sorts of crap like that. You know?
Oil companies, stock market, insurance.
TOVG is now selling insurance. If you're interested, www.thatonevideogamer/insurance.
TOVG.com/home/insurance. In case for taking care of all your insurance needs from across the planet.
Can we make a commercial for that?
Bradley, just take a B footage of a woman running in a park and then put a shit ton of tiny ass font on the bottom and then just put one word on the screen, like it's like a made up like health like word, or like antibiotic, like diasant, and then just get like really homely like audio of like someone playing the piano, and that's TOVG Insurance. There you go.
TOVG Insurance does not insure rage-induced game breaks.
We do not insure controllers.
TOVG Insurance is an actual insurance. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So Chris, since you brought it up, why don't you lead it while I drink my totally non-sponsored Monster Energy.
Crisp.
Hashtag could be an ad. Hashtag should be an ad. Hashtag fuck you Snapple for not giving us ads. No, I'm not saying fuck you to Snapple. I'll never say that. But seriously, Snapple, we love you, and we're sad that you don't sponsor us, but you sponsor other YouTubers and streamers out there.
Please give us money.
Give us money, or Snapple, or both. We'll take golden Snapple coins. It's not a real thing, but we'll fucking take them. Anyways, no, Monster actually sent us like 7 pallets of Monster, and we finally got to the end of it, and now we're like, what do we do?
How are we going to work?
How are we going to work? We don't have Monster. Speaking of Monster, Chris, take it away.
Great.
See, that was a great segue.
That was the most beautiful transition I think ever.
I got you.
No, I think it's something that we should all think about and talk about when we're like looking at dynamics between like people and like how you work in a space. And I don't think, like I was saying before, I don't think anybody really thinks about like we're a YouTube office, and they probably just think we fuck around all day.
We play video games for a living. That's what we do. We just play games.
We just chill. Drink beer, play games all day. That's like the fucking job. Well, no. Like there's a lot of like...
That's actually the least... we probably play few games and probably drink no alcohol, actually. This is for Scary Game Squad or for...
That one stream we did.
That one stream.
Yep.
That one Street Fighter stream. But yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's totally cool. I mean, like, what I was going to say was, like, we're talking about, like, okay, people think we just fuck around, but it's like there's actually a lot of, like, really delicate's the wrong word, but, like, intricate communication that has to go on between, like, specifically, say, like, Pat's working on an episode, and, like, maybe Ted and Brad and I are, like, say, like, I'm editing Beard Bros, and Brad's working on this, and Ted's helping with other stuff. Sometimes it'll be like, okay, well, now we need to work on assets, and so now there's, like, this whole communication level. Like, Pat doesn't do, like, he does a metric shit ton, but, like, obviously Pat can't do it all by himself. And so that where it comes into play with, like, let's communicate and let's work on our dynamic. And it's like, okay, hey guys, can we work on this? And, like, we actually do a lot of, like, really cool, like, asset meetings and things. And we really, like, try to keep it organized, because otherwise, like, it would just, like, totally fall apart. I think one of the more essence of how we flow as an office is a lot of it is baton passing. A lot of it is, once I'm done playing the game, I hand it off to Al, who vets the scripts and goes through it all and makes sure that everything's okay with Brett. Once Brett has all the information he needs, he kind of writes the script. Once he's done with it, Brett and I get together, go over the script, iron it out, and then we take that script, we do voiceovers, and then we hand it off to Pat, and then it's kind of Pat's job to make everything kind of, flow, and then, Pat goes, okay, this is too heavy, this is too much work, how do we go forward? And then he starts handing out little mini batons for everyone else to kind of go help him rebuild out the show. And then at the end of the day, everyone brings back and comes together all their assets and all their fun things. And it really, one of the things that we're bad at as an office is not just communication is something that we're clear at, I feel, because we're all here every day. We all see each other. We're all talking on Slack and through Discord and through emails, and we're all on top of it. But if someone has an off week, which tends to happen more often than not in the most recent months, if someone's having a week, that just means that all of us suffer. Oh, absolutely.
And that always is so hard, because then, before when I started the show, I was kind of by myself in my self-created prison, working all the time until 2 or 3 in the afternoon the next day, getting videos done. And instead of that being more optimized, there's just more prisons built around for the friends and coworkers around me, and so now we're all in the same prison, and we just don't stay until that late. We stay until like 5 or 6 in the morning. So we saved about 10 to 12 hours of prison time for me, but now it's like spread out amongst the team, and that definitely is the hardest thing about the show and kind of just maintaining all the channels, because we do have at this point That One Video Gamer, Super Beard Bros, the Decks, the personal channel, Super Couch Fighters, and we used to have Super Scope Show, but we had to kind of cancel that because it just was hard to get kind of everything going on a weekly basis. That show requires a lot of writing and performing and editing and filming that takes so much of our office resources that it was hard to maintain. And, it required Andrew, Santel, and Fraser here all the time, and they couldn't afford it because, starting a YouTube channel as a business from the ground up is very fucking hard. I talked about brand deals and how YouTube money works before on the channel, and it's very hard to maintain as someone getting into it for the first time. And so we as a unit have to prioritize every channel and every aspect of the shows and the editing and the production cycle, and that's always so much more fucking difficult than it is, because we want to keep the flow going, we want to keep everyone up to date. But what ends up happening is, and I feel bad because I feel really responsible for it, but because The Completionist is a television show, essentially, we end up suffering the other channels tremendously. Big reason as to why there's no Battle Square this week is because, we had to finish The Completionist. And until we get to a point where The Completionist is a full-fledged machine, we're going to have to make sacrifices and cuts necessary. And I don't mean getting rid of people. It's more or less about our workflow and schedule, because everyone shows up at 10 a.m. and we leave at probably 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. And that's just because we're not dicking around playing video games. We're actually trying to get as far as we can so that one day we can dick around and play video games.
Right. Have an occasional chill day.
Yeah. Talked a lot. I'm really sorry.
No, that was really good
take
stuff.
It from me. My brain stopped working.
No,
I just had like Explorer.exe crash on me just now.
I just blanked out.
I just literally just like imagine that like Explorer.exe, when you get a virus in your computer, it just like popped up and is like does not work. Yeah, that's me right now. I broke myself. I'm gonna drink this non-sponsored Monster. Monster.
Label out. No blurs. I know you don't want to blur this, Bradley. Don't blur it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. In fact, zoom in on it. Make it the whole screen. The whole fucking screen. Just a blurry ass monster.
Just
image.
like the M. This is kind of fun for me because I never get to make call-outs.
I'm always telling you to put stuff.
I was like, it's your turn, fucker. Let's go.
So, Al, this week on the show, we talked about jobs earlier, or last Wednesday, I talked about my job, working at Best Buy, working at Shea LA, and at Adecco for MySpace. You've worked many a job. What jobs have you worked before you came to work here at That One Video Hell office?
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on, man.
That.
Warden.
Warden?
Whoa! I'm the warden?
He's a
Warden,
warden.
Jirard.
It's like you said, we're all in jail, so there's got to be a warden. Warden shares a jail cell next to me. So
It's true.
I don't know. I feel like the warden's Pat.
Pat's the warden?
He just gets the most cranky, so I think he's the warden.
Pat gets cranky because it's Thursday morning, half the script's written, half the voiceovers are done, the game's completed, but he needs pickup shots, and everyone shows up at 2 p.m. like,
What's up, man?
hey, what?
Is that video done, Pat? What the fuck?
He has every reason to be the cranky warden.
That's why he's the warden. Got his fucking nightstick. He's like ready to go.
Miss Hatchet, all right, calm down.
Sends you a Slack. Where's that fucking script? Sorry, I'm swearing a lot. I'm so sorry.
You're fine. Look, I swear a lot too. I try and cut it out, but sometimes it just
happens.
Feels good to swear. Al, sorry. Jobs that you've done.
It's a lot of little, lot of big jobs. I spent a lot of time in the restaurant business. Just doing that through high school and part of college. And then out of college, I worked with, I think as I mentioned previously, I briefly QA'd for Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2. Is your name in the credits?
It is not in the credits because
what?
I got hired on like really late in like I guess the overall production of it, to the point where they were like,
we're gonna fix that. Bradley, get the credits to Black Ops 2 and then fucking put Al Galletti in big font scrolling up, taking up the whole goddamn screen.
Just nobody else's name is there. Just fucking Al.
yeah,
this is my game.
I shall claim it.
Fixed it. We fixed it.
God, if only I knew it was that easy. So,
tweet it to Black Ops 2. So tweet it to Black Ops 2.
Oh God,
no, we don't want
to. Don't fucking do that.
To be fair, if Black Ops 2 had a proprietary Twitter, no one's used it in fucking 4 years. So let's be real. No one's using the Black Ops 2 Twitter.
Truth.
So I don't want to kick a hornet's nest or nothing.
What is it, Treyarch or Activision or whoever?
Treyarch.
Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah.
That's like their commercial.
Yeah.
Treyarch. Great.
Bradley, bring back that stock footage, that stock music. Replace that word with just Treyarch. And then my voice. Ready? Treyarch. You're all right. There you go.
Nailed it.
We're putting so much pressure on Bradley right now. I'm so sorry.
I believe in Bradley.
I'm so sorry. So you worked briefly for Treyarch.
Yeah.
QAing Black Ops 2.
Yes, and I very quickly realized, no.
That was so sad. No.
Well, it's like it was really fun. It was great, getting to play games all day, but imagine having to play a broken game all day, every day, trying to make it better. It's not great. Long hours, which who cares, long hours, but it's just the whole aspect and the whole thing of it just wasn't my cup of tea. And so from there,
well, you worked at the 555, didn't you, for a while?
I did. I worked at the restaurant, out of there. So I did that a little bit in college as well. I had like my string where I was like restaurant, like all for it, like that's my thing. But I love games. So after I got done with the QAing, my dad hatched a brilliant plan. He got me very drunk. And he got me to say, yes, I'll come and work for you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sneaky dad.
So your pops was like, I need you to take the family business. And you were like, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's soccer's on, and I got a beer. Let's do this. I'll take that shit and run with it. And so I did that, and I did that for a lot. It was great, getting to be with family, learned a whole bunch. It was more like importing and manufacturing and stuff like that. So while I enjoyed it and everything about it was great, it wasn't games. I'd be like, what time do I get off? Yeah, right. All right, let's go play games. So it just kind of made sense. Pulled back a little bit from that. Be with Jirard. And, one thing led to another. And it's perfect. Because and that's where I'm at now.
So now that you've been here for about 6 months now,
mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
Free.
You feel free.
That's a very loose term though, because I feel free in the jail cell.
I thought he was totally gonna troll you and go trapped.
It's like I may be in a jail cell, but at least you give me a window.
I get the one fucking window in the corner, like.
I'm not Hannibal Lectered here where I gotta paint my own landscape and be
God.
I want to go there one day. No, it's like I can look out the window and be like, oh, I could go there.
I really want to put a piece of paper on your window now just to make you feel trapped even more, but it sounds like that you've already got a vivid image of I can't stop that window.
Hey Bradley, can you please put on the screen the picture of the fake window on notebook paper for Al.
On notebook paper?
Those PNGs exist.
Those PNGs exist? Hold on, but just for me, Bradley, can you also just Photoshop the word Shutterstock, like right in the center of it, just so it's like it's just a fake ass photo? You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, it just says
it's just fucking the shittiest clip art bullshit. I'm sorry, Bradley. This is too fun.
It's a fake ass window with the word Shutterstock on it.
And you know, every time I would look at that Shutterstock, I would see freedom.
So good.
Well, thank you, Al, for sharing your story of your jobs. Chris, where did you work? What have you done?
I'm one of those people that like did a lot of fucking jobs. So my first job when I was 16, I worked at Kmart. I think those still exist, right? People still know what Kmart is.
You said Kmart as if like you regretted saying the word Kmart. Like you had no choice but Kmart. Like you just couldn't.
I came from a town of like 7,000 people, so it was like Kmart or like Sadness in a boiling pit.
Wait, you had a choice of working at Sadness in a boiling pit or Kmart?
Yeah, and I was like, I'll take the Kmart. And I was like, they're like, what do you want to do? What are you interested in? I was like, Kmart. Great. And I ended up being like a supervisor because like no one else had any competency. So that was great. And actually the fun part, like all my buddies worked there too because we're going to fucking get in and take that shit over. And so.
Hold on. Is this how you guys do it?
What?
You infiltrate. Because, hold on.
What do you mean, new people?
I'll give you exactly what you mean, new people. So I hired Pat to work for us last year. Pat was our third round of interns that we hired at That One Video Gamer. And after 6 months, we hired Pat. 2 months later, Pat goes, hey, I have some roommates that are looking for internships. They'd love to work for you. We hired Chris. Chris was great. And then we hired Ted right afterwards. I basically have an apartment of dudes working out of this office. So I guess that's just how, and guess they all used to work at the Red Lobster.
Taking
they
over,
all
baby.
apparently used to work at the Kmart together.
Well, no, the Pat and Ted were when I came here. That was high school. I didn't know Pat and Ted till college, but it was like just a bunch of high school buddies at Kmart, and it was great.
Shout outs to all of Chris's buddies at Kmart. Rest in peace.
Rip
in peace.
9-10 years later, they're still there.
No, God, no. We all escaped real fast.
I think Kmart wanted to get out of Kmart. Like the
That's true.
The
They're
logo
like, we're
was
out.
like, we need to change. We got to get out.
Well, it wasn't just like a regular Kmart. It was like the big K. So like, it had like the cool
Special K.
So good.
Big. Oh, the big. So it was like the big Kmart. It was called like Super K or Big K.
Yeah, it was Big K. But the problem was like 2 years before I started working there, Walmart invaded, and so like one person a day came to that Kmart.
Yo, are we talking like turf wars?
Yeah,
like there was a turf war between Kmart and Walmart.
There's literally a service road that separates them. That's like 5 blocks away.
Shit.
It was real tough.
Fuck Civil War. Let's get Civil Retail War.
Civil Retail.
Walmart versus Kmart. Target, Best Buy, somewhere in the middle. No one knows. It's the fucking Civil War of retail.
I think Kmart already lost.
Kmart showed up and they were like, "We don't have any powers.
What do you want? What do you want, man?
What do you want? We have nothing to offer."
Walmart was like, "F you," and just like clocked him in the head.
But Kmart's like, "Yo, we represent all the 99-cent stores around the world. we can take back corporate retail." Everyone else is like, "No, they don't even like you."
What do you want?
What do you want, Kmart? Super Kmart?
Do you think like Kmart would sponsor us?
Kmart 64.
Kmart 64.
The K Cube.
Now I'm just sad.
The Kmart Wii. The Quee.
The Quee.
The Quee U.
Quee. I was just gonna say
the Kmart. The Quitch.
Quamibos.
Quibos. That's where we're at.
Kmart.
Okay, so you worked at Kmart.
Right. And then
Al just gave the very fatherly like fucking kids. So you worked at Kmart.
Right. And then I also worked sort of at the newspaper. I had like a column that I talked about a lot of like, I was like real edgy in my like hometown.
Ooh. Edgy Chris.
And if you guys really care to find it, you'll find real emo me in high school, which you'll be able to see like all
Do
this.
you have a live journal online somewhere?
No, it's a MySpace. There's something called emo scene too that existed. It was like MySpace for like emo kids, and I was totally on that. It was so embarrassing. But so the column I wrote, I usually was like,
You stopped Alf. Al was in shock.
I'm like now like imagining like emo Chris at Kmart like.
Dude, black hair, had like the wristbands and everything. It was real rough.
Hey man, do you want this or whatever? I don't really care.
Were you in like going through the emo scene, like, and the newspaper and the Kmart?
Well, the emo scene was like, that was just like a stupid like MySpace website that I didn't like work for. I was like, I just was on it because I was fucking emo, and I was like, this is cool, and I'm edgy, and like the town is 7,000 people, so like
Chris, I'm only 2 years older than you. How is it like I missed this generational gap?
I have no idea
of you being on emospace.com.
Listen, man, you weren't as cool as me in high school.
Apparently, in Fargo, I was not nearly as cool as you were.
Fair enough. But so, like, town of 7,000 people. So the newspaper was all like, we're talking about farming today, and the weather's real nice. And I'm like, I'm going to talk about gay stuff. And, like...
Wait. Hold on. Just... I need to ask.
Okay.
For those guys who know, Chris is gay, obviously. But... when you say gay stuff, do you mean like LGBT activist rights stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, not like, yo, these two dudes in the corner of 4th and
just
2nd.
Going ham.
Like, you're not doing that.
Yeah, no. It wasn't
you're not play-by-play calling...
Right, it wasn't like Harlequin column day, you know?
In Fargo, of all places?
Yeah. Well, it's actually Detroit Lakes, technically.
Oh, Detroit Lakes.
Yes.
There's a place called Detroit Lakes in Fargo?
Well, no, it's like 40 miles like east of Fargo.
Okay. East of Fargo. Okay.
So, yeah, so technically that was like Minnesota. But yeah, so I wrote gay stuff because I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna change this shitty little conservative town.
You're gonna be the force of change.
I was the conduit in which Detroit Lakes became an all-gay town.
Did that happen?
Fuck no. So yeah, I did that for a little bit. If any of my friends were back home or watching, probably like, God damn it, Chris, don't talk about our town like that. So I did that, and then eventually I went to college, and I was like, I'm not working through college. And then I was like, oh no, I have to work through college. It's way too expensive. And so I worked actually as the hair and makeup technical assistant for the theater department. And I started that my sophomore year, and I designed like 85% of the hair and makeup for the shows until I graduated from college. And like interspersed through there, I did like directing projects with the community theater. Like all of them had like kids programs. So like a lot of the college kids would go and direct shows for them, and they'd pay us and all sorts of stuff like that. And then after college, I was like Al too. I did a lot of like restaurant work. I've actually worked at the Red Lobster for quite a long time, just as like a side job for like bartending and serving and stuff.
When you told me that you worked at the Red Lobster, the first thing out of my mouth was, they're still in business?
Yeah, no joke.
Those still exist.
I didn't even know
it's like
the
Kmart.
Red Lobster was still around. Yeah, Kmart, the Red Lobster, you are just signing up with places that have been like in the middle of like bankruptcy for about 50 fucking years.
50?
You've been on the cusp of, look, if those brands want to come at me, listen, you too can have your logo shittily zoomed in our podcast, Kmart. Fuck you, Kmart. But if you sponsor this, I'll just put Kmart right here.
Put the K
Bradley, put a K for just one single frame, and that's it. That's a taste. That's a taste, Kmart. Fuck you. So you work like
lots of like everywhere kind of thing, and then I decided I got a job as an artistic director at like a really awesome high school that were really, really good to me for like 3 years. I worked there, and I did I seriously did theater all day, every day for a really long time. Because for those of you who don't know, like I'm like many of the people in the office, I have a theater degree.
Yeah, and now I think, hold on. Let's do some math.
Yeah.
Ted does Ted have a degree?
Ted has a theater degree.
You have one.
Pat has one.
I have one. Jesse Cox has one. Duger has one. Octopimp has one.
Holy shit.
Alex had one. Alex was
theater in English.
His was theater in English.
Yeah.
So that's 8 of us. 8 of us have theater degrees.
That's insane, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I worked in theater for a long time, and then like there was a job that opened up that I really, really wanted. It was like the artistic director of like the big community theater in Fargo, and I mean like I was a little young and probably not quite qualified for it, so it's totally cool. I didn't get that, and so then I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm out, peace, deuces, and I moved to LA.
You just became the gift of the black kid who's like, and like fades into nothing.
Later, man. And then I came to LA, and then Pat's like, I got this fucking sweet gig here. And I was like, that's cool, dude. You think like, video games, eh? And then Pat got me here, and then now I'm here, and I'm enjoying it, and I love my life.
Sweet.
Tight.
Sweet.
Tight, sweet.
Sweet,
yeah,
tight,
bro.
dude.
One of those sweet bros.
Well, we love having you here, Chris. We are bummed that you're going to be leaving shortly.
I think I gotta tell everyone over the
we
podcast.
We have to. We have to say goodbye to you before it's too late.
Fair enough.
Everyone's gonna love you and then be like, Chris, come back. Chris is gonna be leaving us. Although I'm still trying to come up with a scheme to make him stay. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm hoping that it's like an Ocean's 11-esque type thing.
Like some bank heist.
Yeah, we're just gonna like convince Chris to stay, but like. It's gonna be like some elaborate thing, and at the end, it's like it was just to get Chris to stay. Boom, boom, bam, boom, boom, boom,
ridiculous thing goes.
A bit of conversation. Yeah. So this podcast has gone to all hell in regards to format and structure today, but we're having a good fucking time. I feel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're having good times. I think we're gonna switch over to the comment section today. We're gonna go a little heavier on the comment side. Anything else we talk about The Office in regards to schedule? We talked about flow. We talked about baton passing. We talked about how we got here with our jobs and stuff like that. What else can we talk about The Office before we switch over to comments?
Well, I was gonna say I think something that allows us to have a really nice like office dynamic is like I think in a lot of other like say an office setting you think like everything's really like formal and really like. There's like something called primary attention where it's all just like communication personally is really like and only niceties. But like for us, we're friends. You know what I mean? I would consider like all of you like friends of mine. And so I think like all of that primary attention stuff is gone and we're a lot more comfortable with each other. And so like we can say horrible things to each other and like make a joke to help ease the tension. Like say it's like it's a really stressful week, but I can be like, yo, Jirard, fuck you. And then you're like, and we can like have a nice dynamic.
Hold on. I just want to say that you're the only one in the office that says something mean, followed by like the world's like not like it's not sleazy by any means, but it's like freeze frame like gotcha like, and sometimes we'll just walk in the room and like we won't even say a fucking word, and you'll just go, and it's like, what was there a joke that you got us with?
Gotcha. Fun fact, I'm actually a cartoon character.
Oh, okay.
So
that would explain
many things.
75% of what you do.
That's true.
Just a mere 75%. The other quarter, I'm convinced, is like from emospace.com.
Well, it was. Now it's at like Rainbow Unicorn, happygaytime.com.
Rainbow Unicorn, happygaytime.com /keyword Nick.
Nick? I was thinking like Lance.
Lance Bass. Yeah. /Lance. That's like your like representation of the gay community is Lance from NSYNC.
It's perfect.
Jirard was dropping some Nickelodeon stuff,
I
and
was
you went to Lance Bass.
Look, I'm just trying to keep Doug alive. That's all it really is all about. I'm just trying to keep Doug.
Dude, that poor child.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about our friendships here in the office. No one's ever really mad at each other. We don't really have conflict. When we do have conflict, we try our best to squash it right away.
Absolutely.
It's always harder than it seems to squash because we're afraid of hurting each other's feelings. I have a very no fucking around policy in regards to having issues among office employees. I mean, I don't really talk bad about anyone behind anyone's back. That's not my style. If we have issues with people in the office, I'll voice my concerns around people to see if like maybe I'm just being a really inconsiderate person to get like a second or third opinion. And then that will then reinforce me to then have that next step discussion about what's going on. But we very rarely have bad blood in the office. I don't think we've ever really had a bad experience here.
I can't even think of one really.
Yeah. If anything, it's always been people who are on the outside who are like renting from us, or not renting from us, but like visiting for a collab or something, and not even a real problem. It's like, oh, like, you know, we don't have batteries. We have to go get batteries, or, you know, we have to go like put something away, or I have to be out of here by 6 or something like that. So, yeah. So before we move on, I just wanted to go ahead and read the.
God damn it,
dude! This can is getting.
I saw the look at the can. I was like, God damn it, Jirard.
Monster. This is my. I wanted you all to know.
Oh God.
How. Like, fuck, I'm not doing it.
No. You already committed. You started.
Okay. So did you know that every Monster can has this thing about it? And I just want to share this with you guys. It's very near and dear to my heart. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet. Monster Energy. It's the ideal combo of the right ingredients and the right portion to deliver the big bad buzz that only Monster can. Monster packs a powerful punch, but has a smooth, easy drinking flavor.
It's like a tobacco ad.
Athletes, musicians, anarchists, co-ed road warriors, metalheads, geeks, hipsters, and bikers dig it. You will too. Unleash the beast. All rights reserved. TM after Unleash the Beast. Very important to know. Monster. Not sponsoring this video, but just let them know that it could. Hey, Kmart, fuck you. Moving on to the comment section. I don't know what happened. Again, Explorer.exe crashed in Jirard today. We're going to go ahead and go to our comments section so far. Let's go to the comments. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to everyone.
Jordan, I'm going to let you finish, but Kmart's the greatest retailer that ever exists.
Dude, are there even any Kmarts still open around here?
Would be the scariest part of town if they existed.
I think there might be one Kmart here.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna see how close the closest Kmart is. I'm really curious.
You're just really into that right now?
I need it. I might go back. I don't know.
All right. Let's get to the comments. Bradley, put that comment animation from like 2 episodes ago. Fuck, I don't know. Here we go. Hey guys. I want to start by saying I really like the TVG podcast. It's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've put the scary month behind us, so I'd like to ask, what games do you think has the friendliest, most positive atmosphere? I'm talking about games that are exuberant, but not like to the point of irritation and how cheerful they are, like Kirby's Epic Yarn, for instance. Keep up the good work. Argen? ARGEN. Man, some positive games. Games that just give you good vibes all around. I'm going to say Yoshi's Woolly World. That game gets my shit going. I just get too happy. I'm in a bad mood. I boot that game up and I'm like, I just want to hug everything. I just want to hug stuff.
Great.
Is that weird?
No, not at all.
Sounds like you were trying to judge me, Chris.
No, I was just trying to think of like, I don't play happy games.
What do you mean you don't play happy games?
I was like, well, I like to kill things in MOBAs, and that makes me really happy. But like for like positive games, I would say
Pokemon.
But Pokemon's like, that's a whole different thing though. You know what I mean? Like Pokemon's like sacred. Like that's like a whole other world.
Pokemon doesn't make you happy. It puts you in a positive vibe world.
But like, I think like more specifically, like something that like is a super positive, just like overall positive experience, like something like Little Big Planet. You know what I mean? You just play and you're like so relaxed and like
Little Big Planet's real good. That was a good choice.
It's so good and like there's like challenges and things, but it's not to the point where you're gonna get like really frustrated with it.
Yeah,
it's just like a nice like I'm just gonna chill for a couple. You know,
sure,
have a really nice time. I would say like that's like the game that like if I think about like happy game that's not irritating, that's like totally the jam for me.
Sure, Al.
Happy game. I mean, be honest. I don't do many happy games.
How about this? Let's flip it up a bit. What game puts you in a positive, happy mood?
That's cool. Does it rhyme with Schmeejin?
Yeah, it might. No.
Schmeejin? That was the best you got, Chris, was Schmeejin?
Yeah, man. It's like the not so subtle. It's like, you know what I'm saying, but I want to say something dumb instead.
Okay.
It's interesting because I find that games that I really like don't make me happy. Like
Jirard was like,
hold on. So let me get this straight. Games that you like don't make you happy?
They don't, because like they're I need to either A, beat it. Fuck being happy, I want to beat it. Or B, they're just, like, no. I can't do it. It's like nothing. What makes me happy is when you get like a good something.
Was that you throwing dice or throwing a tomahawk? What was that?
Like
little shuriken comes
out.
out.
It's like, yeah, it's when you do. What makes me happy is when anything in a game has something that's like so gratifying. Like
overcoming an achievement kind of thing.
Are you talking about like your ability to play the game?
Yes, exactly. Not the game itself, because I never go like, oh, Kirby, he's so cute, I want to hug something. It's not my thing, I'm like, I fucking cut that guy's head off. Good.
Great.
We learned a lot about Al today here on the show, everyone. But more importantly, it's gratifying to cut off someone's head.
Right, real talk.
Real talk.
I mean,
I played God of War. I understand where you're coming from.
It
feels good. It feels good.
There is nothing more gratifying than when you get to the end of the game and you're just like, I could beat the shit out of Zeus for the next hour and not have to stop, and they're not gonna stop me. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll push that button. I'll push that a little longer than I should.
All right.
That's good, actually.
That was a reverse way of answering the question, but I'll accept.
Thank you for it.
Let's see here. This one's kind of been a repeat question, so I'm going to kind of go around it for right now. Let's see here. Okay. This one's from a Kember. First, thank you for sharing yourselves with us. You are so damn charming. Listening to your podcast makes my housekeeping go by much faster. Donkey Bros. Dank Bros? I think it's
like Donkashay?
Donkey Bros. My question is, what is your biggest guilty pleasure song? Mine has to be Sister Psychic by Smash Mouth. If you haven't heard it, let's be real, you haven't. Check it out and get a chuckle. Later, bros, Kember. Thank you for the comment. Guilty pleasure song. I've said it before. Live and Learn by Crush 40. The main theme from Sonic Adventure 2. It is my inadvertent theme song. If I die, bury me and lower me into the ground with that song blasting on every speaker for 30 miles. And people have no idea what the fuck is going on. But let me tell you, I'll be looking at heaven being like, I got all you bitches. Now you have to listen to this shitty song that I love.
God damn it.
I love that song. It's great. Chris, guilty pleasure song?
I kind of cycle through them because I like a lot of crappy music. So right now...
No musicals. Taking off the table.
Fuck.
No musicals.
I have no answer.
You stereotypical gay man, you.
Sorry. No, I mean, real talk, like, all my guilty songs are like, okay, if no musicals on the table, we're going to put that away. It's just so lame and, like, kind of a fanboy thing.
Did you understand that my song choice was the theme song from Sonic Adventure 2?
I did.
That's pretty fucked up. What else? Go.
It's a Pokemon song, and it's On the Road to Viridian City. On the road to
what's your favorite song? On the road.
It's so good. It's so good. And it just like kind of cheers me up, and like it's kind of like my pump up song. If I know I've got a big project I need to work on, I'm like, I'm gonna listen to this 4 times.
Sure.
I'm in. I'm ready.
All right. Al, your guilty pleasure song.
Guilty pleasure song. All right.
I feel like you got like 70 of these.
I do.
Yeah.
The one that's like right now like ingrained in me though, thanks to, Street Fighter.
Is it the Rashid theme?
Oh, no.
It is Real American Hulk Hogan theme song. Come on. You start playing that, and you're playing Street Fighter, right? And I play Guile. Guile's my guy, right? You just play that, and you fucking Real American that shit. You go in.
I think I've heard that song, like, anytime I see Al playing Street Fighter, he's like, hey,
Bradley,
I got a song for you.
Bradley, I want you to put footage of Guile from Street Fighter V doing the crouch walk and just play a few seconds of I am a real American.
so
screen.
good.
Full screen that shit.
Oh my god, it just takes over you. You play better.
Al is so flustered I can see color in his face. That's how stoked he is to talk about that.
It's so good.
You guys want to know a secret about Pat's method of madness?
He plays the same song on repeat for 75 hours.
Goddamn song. So Pat's working on the Ghostbusters video, and Pat doesn't listen to music quiet. He likes to deafen himself with it. And
Sure.
And so he walked away to go work on something, and he left the song on. And we had another intern at the time named Dylan, and him and I are sitting there working, and we heard that fucking song 30 times. He goes, "Okay, I'm gonna go turn this off now."
What was the song?
It was the fucking Ghostbusters theme song. Na-na-na-na-na, for 5 hours.
I do that too sometimes.
It's so good.
I get that.
It's so funny.
That's just getting into it. You gotta embody it.
It's true.
It's true. Just surround yourself with the content.
Yeah.
It's a theater thing, I
I'm
think.
afraid of no ghosts.
Yeah. Thank you for your question. That was a really good question.
That was a really good question.
This one's from BEJ. Beach. Damn it. Got me. To be fair,
I'm sorry.
Grow up, Chris.
I'm 15. I can't handle it.
It's not even BEJ. It's just BEJ. For all I know, it's their initials.
Or it could be Bedge.
Bedge is somehow funnier than Beach to the 15-year-old at the table.
Sorry, guys. I'm derailing us. I apologize. Hey, Jirard.
What?
You want to get a Bedge?
Beach's question says this. Greetings, everyone at TOVG. I love all the content you guys get out, and I have really been enjoying the Galaxy podcast. I look forward to it each and every week. I had a question for Jirard. You made it clear that you could make it into the YouTube space and have the ability to help start creative multiple shows. So why The Completionist? What made you sure that was the right show to start with? Thanks for the read. Keep up the great content. Sincerely, Beach. God damn you guys.
Nothing, man.
Fine, I'm calling B from now on. B.
Perfect.
From B. That's a fucking great question, because I ask myself that every day. Why did I choose The Completionist? I talked about this before in the documentary about the show that Javed Good Blood Games made, and I said that The Completionist was my 5th and final attempt at making a YouTube channel. I had made so many failed projects. I had made so many different aspects of comedy and drama and scripted content and improvised content on YouTube that I had enough with my career. I thought that my life goal was going to travel all over the world working on films and getting Nicolas Cage his coffee every day, or work as a PA for an independent company and make a bunch of indie films that I didn't really care about. And I kind of saw the writing on the wall when I saw that path kind of unfolding, and I didn't want that for myself. And so after I had the story of how The Completionist really started in regards to the groundswelling of it was John Jafari, he was having a live stream at his house, and his parents wanted him to not have the live stream at his house because he was just having people over. His parents didn't know, and they weren't comfortable with it. So he called me and said, "Hey man, would you host this live stream at your house?" And I had been streaming on the side on Ustream for probably 6-7 months, and I had the tech, and I said, "Yeah, come on down." And then mind you, this was 2010, 2011, before Twitch was really a thing. And so I had this live stream party. I had all these retro games and everything connected to it ready to go. And that day I met Dodger from Press Start to Continue, and I met Egoraptor, Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps, and I met them, and after hanging out with them, I understood what it meant to be a YouTuber. I don't know what it was. It just kind of clicked, and everything made sense. I understood what it took. I understood the investment, and I understood what it meant to just go all in. What I didn't understand was, how was I going to get people to watch? How was I going to get people to care? How was I going to get people to really feel invested into the show? And I looked at the YouTube space. I looked at IGN. I looked at Games Radar and Joystick at the time, and GameSpy and GameSpot and all these places. And I kept seeing a consistent thing that bothered me. I would read reviews, and they'd give games 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 5, or 9 out of 10s, 9.5 out of 10s, 9.8 out of 10s. They'd praise these games for their innovation and these great things, and I'd be that guy who would listen to them. I'd spend $60 on a brand new copy of a game, and go home and be like, this is not the game that I thought it would be, and or the game would be super short, and I didn't really get my fulfillment out of it. $60 is a lot of money. No one can just spend $60 willy-nilly. If you do, it's because you're expecting to take the experience home and really cherish it in the now, but it's hard. You're asking a lot of the gamers to spend that money, and so that's kind of where I saw my chance to kind of make a difference. Was I wanted to play games to not only say, this is my opinions, here's my feelings, and here's what it is, but I wanted to validate those opinions because of my ability to complete games. And I think that was the core of it. It was, I want to show everyone that I completed the game, which means I have a pretty good idea as to why I think the game is worth $60, or it's worth $10, or if it's worth, $60 in general. And that's kind of where it started. What it became was something I never planned. I didn't think it'd get this big. I didn't think I'd be here 5 years later. I didn't think I'd have an office and a crew helping me make the show. I didn't think any of that stuff. I really had no idea. I think what really kind of threw me for a whirl was how difficult it would be. I made that first episode and was like, man, that was awesome. Oh, I have to do it again. And I kept having that thought as it kept going on, like, how many more games can I talk about? How many more games are going to come up and be involved in my life? And if it wasn't for my creative team next to me here, I probably would have stopped a while ago. Just because I don't think I have the perseverance like I used to. And there's many things I regret since I started YouTube. I think the thing that I would probably regret the most is how I didn't figure out YouTube sooner. I didn't figure out like how to get viewers, how to algorithmically thrive. And for the longest time, I was convinced doing what I was going to do was going to work. And that worked for about 3 or 4 years, and then YouTube algorithm shifts, and then everything changes, and it's basically like starting back from zero almost every week, and you start to question yourself every step of the way. But right now where I'm at, I don't give a fuck about YouTube algorithms. I don't give a fuck about other YouTubers and what they do in regards to starting drama. Look, I am fucking big boss, solid snake status, where I have just been through the shit, and people are either on my team or they're on the opposite side. And that doesn't mean starting wars. That means nothing. That just means every single week I do what I do. You love it, you hate it, let's move on. Simple, clean boys. I don't know why this got so angry. Guys, let me tell you about Monster.
That's passion.
Yeah, I guess it is passion.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
that was
sorry,
awesome, dude.
I got sidetracked once again. But yeah, I think that's kind of where my head's at. It's that I love doing what I do. For lack of feeling big-headed, I thought we'd be more famous. If that sounds really bad, that sounds horrible. Let me say this: I don't grade success on fame. That's like we could have 1,000 subscribers, and I could be totally fine with it. I think what the gratification of it is the accolades and the income that comes from that 1,000 subscribers. If we had 1,000 subscribers and we were making $30,000 a month, I'd be like, yeah, no one knows who we are. Great, let's
keep going.
Let's build our community. Let's make it tight. I'd rather honestly have a small community of people who are awesome than to have like 500,000 people who like half hate me, half don't, or don't only watch or care, or they only watch and subscribe because other people told them to. It's not really like a full-fledged viewer, if that makes sense. But yeah, I hope I answered your question. I hope I didn't make myself look too much like an ass, because I feel like an ass now.
No, man, that was great.
You sure?
Yeah.
Cool.
That was like from the heart. That was like real talk.
That's all I know how to be. That's all I know. I only know the realest of talks.
You're a beautiful man, Jirard.
Thanks, man. Let's answer some more comments. Ooh. Oh, no, we already answered this one. This was an older... I just like went through and like... Burp. Let's see here. Here we go. Comments from Brazil, Alex. Hello, Jirard, Chris, Brett, and potential guest. Probably not. Ooh, well, actually, yeah, guest Chris is here. I'm Alex, pronounced, Alex with like a Pokemon E. I don't know how to pronounce that. From Brazil. So, following your instructions, I found and watched a production of Where's Waldo? Oh, God. And I might say that even though it was clearly a small budget production, the atmosphere was pretty intense at points, and some of the death scenes, especially the second one, half of the CD cutting through your mouth, was pretty impressive. Thank you. I forgot that that people actually watched that. Anyways, what actually made me glad is that I also found a short documentary about you by the channel Good Blood. After watching it, it just made me really affirm that what I think about you and all the TOVG crew. You guys work so hard to entertain us, to make us laugh, to make us cry even. What you guys do is art, and nobody can tell you otherwise. Thank you very much. Do what you want as long as it makes you happy at the end of the day of the week. I didn't know what to ask, so I'll just ask this. I remember a few years ago you were streaming The Binding of Isaac, trying to get all the items in the game and completing it, I think. So were you able to do it? Did you consider an episode of the game, or are you just completing this because you do what you do? Also, I propose a challenge. The Binding of Isaac Rebirth Afterbirth. Beat Mom or Mom's Heart without using any upgrades or items. It's actually a really good one. Hashtag sorry for the long comment. Hashtag fight me in the streets. Sorry for any spelling mistakes. Love what you guys do. Alex from Brazil. This is a great comment. Great comment, not comment.
Like Haley's? I'm sorry. I'm being such an asshole.
Yeah, like Haley's comment. The name of the podcast is called That One Video Galaxy. Why do you think the comments are called comets?
Thug life. I'm being an asshole. Let's keep going.
It's fine.
I'm so sorry, George.
It's fine. Chris never come back to the podcast, you guys.
And I'm fired. Okay.
Well, I mean, you're leaving in a few weeks, so that's just kind of your own thing anyway. So I can't fire someone who's not there. Oh. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Roasted.
Yo, Bradley, put roasted in all caps and, like, for a quick second, blast some, like, house music that's way too distorted for, like, 1 quick second. Guys, we gave Bradley so much work to do. I'm so sorry. Let's talk about The Binding of Isaac. I love that game. I love that game a lot. I love Ed McMillan's game styles. I love what he does. I completed both The Binding of Isaac and The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. I have not played Afterbirth because I'm waiting for him to fucking come out with Afterbirth Plus so I can complete it. I have written 12 different versions of the Binding of Isaac script because literally every 6 to 12 months, as Edmund's like, yo, I have a new feature coming out. It's going to change the whole fucking game every goddamn time. So I'm going to put this hatchet in the piece of wood that you're not going to be able to yank out unless your name's fucking Captain America or Thor. And that is, I will do the Binding of Isaac, Afterbirth Plus Alpha Omega Ruby Sapphire Emerald Remix Type 2 Edition Diabetes eventually. When Edmund's done with the game, I will do it. And when he's done, I will conquer it. In the meantime, I'm just going to ignore everyone who says to do it because I'm a mean person. I'm glad you laughed because I thought someone out there is going to think that was mean.
God, Jirard's such a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I believe that. Thank you for your question. This is great. I think is it Delayton wrote. I appreciate them because they wrote the subject in all caps. Comet approaching. Very good. That's from Mario Galaxy, so I'm glad that they did that. Hey guys, I'm a huge fan of the podcast and all the TVG content. I've been watching Completionist for about 3 years now and absolutely love it. I'm always excited to see every time a new episode releases. Thank you. My question for you all today is, if you could create any game concept, what would it be? Thanks for the awesome podcast. Keep up the great work. Anyone?
Game, like, concept, like, are we talking, like overarching like theme, like thematic concept, or like Pokemon, catching Pokemon is a concept, you throw a ball at a monster type concept? Like, what are we...
We're talking like making a video game.
Just making a video game.
What is your video game concept? I think I've talked about this on the show recently. I feel like I have.
I'm going to hand this over to Al first.
Al, if you can make a video game, what would it be about? And how would you play a game?
Okay, if I could make a game, I would, like, I find, like, massive gratification in the destruction of, like, anything.
Okay.
So it would be a game, like, the concept of the game would basically be, like, you're, like, a demolitions guy. And you like, the whole world, imagine kind of like a Grand Theft Auto world, but you could literally blow up and construct anything you need to go through. But I mean, it's gonna be like really gratifying. Like, could you imagine like there being like I don't know, it seems like kind of an interesting thing to be able to demolish and then like build up anything to progress a game, because it gets like your creativity going a little bit, and then it's fun watching stuff break.
True. That's tight.
Something like that.
What would you call your game?
Bringing down the house.
Bringing down the house? Hold on.
Is there a game? Please tell me there's not a game called that.
I just have to look up
Bringing
down the house. I want you, Bradley, to put this on screen. Bringing Down the House is the 2003 Steve Martin Queen Latifah film with what's his name in the back? Eugene Levy. You're gonna Photoshop a couple of buildings in the background and like stuff just being constructed. That's Bringing Down the House, the video game. Fun fact. They released a 10th anniversary edition of the movie in 2013. So if you're looking to buy that movie, I have to read. I'm sorry, I have to read this. This is the Rotten Tomatoes top critic reviews of Bringing Down the House.
No.
A comedy that successfully plays the stereotypes of both racial and personal. That was considered a fresh review. You have somebody as smart as Steve Martin and as smart and as appealing as Queen Latifah in a movie like this. To have such an awful, offensive story is a real disappointment.
Oh, damn.
Also, if you want, you can buy it on iTunes for about $19.99.
Well, after those reviews, I'm going to have to go home and do that now.
Like, couldn't you imagine breaking that movie down and rebuilding it better?
Look, if
bringing it down.
Look, if your game was about redoing that movie, consider my $20 pre-order right now. I will fucking buy this right now on my phone through iTunes just so I can redo the whole movie.
It'd have to be like, you know, like Sid Meier's Al Galetti's
Bringing down the house. Oh my god, that's too good. Chris, I gave you enough time. What is your fucking movie? What is your game about?
Okay, so I really like some of my all-time favorite games are like Fallout New Vegas, Mass Effect, Knights of the Old Republic. Like, I like those games because there's so much conversation and so much dialogue in them. I really, really enjoy that in video games because, like, to me, it makes me make my character... I can make my character me, like the choices that I would make. Like when I was little, I loved playing Knights of the Republic and being like the evilest bastard that ever exists. I'm like, oh, you got money? Bah, zap, you're dead. Clean this flop house out. You know, like just being a dick. But like the more I got older and I was like, holy shit, I feel bad for doing stuff like this. Like in Mass Effect, I could never, I'm like, I'm going to do a renegade run. Can't do it. Because I'm like, oh, I just genocided a whole, okay, great. And like, you just feel like a piece of shit. Anyway, I'm sidetracking myself. Those are the kinds of games I like because there's like moral choices. I would want a game that takes like all of those concepts, like of how great, like say Mass Effect 1 and 2 were with all the choices and dialogue. And I'd want there to be more moral choices and make it almost like a real life simulator, but placed in like a fantasy setting. And so like, I like the idea of having like dating choices and like, you know, partner choices, friend choices, you know, all sorts of things like that. So almost like a dating sim, but like more detail, meets like an RPG universe. That's a lot. That'd be a really big game.
What's the name of your game? If you say Bringing Down the House 2, I would be so pissed.
I almost said Bring It Down the House 2. My game is called Chris's Big Gay Adventure.
No, a real... Come on, Chris.
Actually, that's tough. Titles have always been tough for me, even like writing papers and stuff. It'd probably be like fantasy, like wild, something like Wildstar or Phantasy Star, you know, something like that. That's like, because I definitely want it to be like almost like combine the best like thematic design choices of Mass Effect and Dragon Age and kind of like put it in space. I think that'd be really cool. So it'd be some kind of like Dragon Effect. I'm gonna call it Dragon Effect.
Dragon Space Morality Star.
That sounds dope. See, Al can come up with the names. Al's a name guy.
Like Bringing Down the House.
Bringing down the house. Al Galetti's Bringing Down the House. That one is fucking brilliant.
It's so good.
I give you a C. It was okay.
A C?
Mostly, I'm just judging the name, I'm not judging the game.
Fair enough. I agree. I'm cool with that.
You gotta get your name game on.
Am I now?
I really want to do one of my favorite, and I feel super unappreciated genre of game is the side-scroller beat-em-ups. I love side-scroller beat-em-ups.
Good choice.
I love 4-player beat-em-ups or 3-player beat-em-ups like TMNT, Simpsons, Final Fight, that kind of stuff. Excuse me. I've been wanting to do. I've been thinking about this, and it's kind of a weird situation because it's like I want to make a game about YouTubers. It's like that's been done before, but I think it'd be fun to do one that, and it doesn't necessarily need to be. The most important thing of this game, I've thought about this in depth, pretty hardcore, and I thought it should really be about. It should be about YouTubers and the YouTube space. And like YouTube falling apart and how like we have to fight our way through the algorithm, and it's like disgusting code monsters that we have to just beat the shit out of. But I don't want it to just be like a beat 'em up. It needs to have all kinds of crazy elements. So for instance, it's a 4-player beat 'em up, but everyone has a super meter, a meter that you would build up, and you beat up guys, and you when you pummel them, they explode, and you get this meter, and it builds up and it builds up, and as it builds up. It then kind of turns into a Marvel vs. Capcom situation where you can do a super move that takes up the whole screen and like just clearly wipes the screen altogether. So you get these power-ups that would wipe the screen, right? And these kind of power-ups you would get from destroying other people. But more importantly, the more you use these power-ups, the more you level up as a character. Like you need to, in order to become more powerful as a beat-em-up person, you have to do these moves more and more or do certain achievements or things to do them. So it's like throwing 25 guys unlocks a new move. And these moves aren't just like super moves. They're actual moves you get to use in the realm of this beat 'em up. So imagine if you're doing this beat 'em up and then you want to throw a sonic boom or you want to do like a tatsu or, you know, like a flame tatsu or things like that. The idea is that you reward the player by constantly putting challenges in their way that they will get rewarded based on execution and getting better and better to the point where you're at the end of the game and there's just tons of enemies and you're just like the Matrix, the one, you're Neo. And that's the thing is I love about games is I love creating the idea of creating a slope of difficulty, but that slope of difficulty is kind of fake because you yourself are becoming good at the game. And so when you get to the end of the game, you have this collision course of like, I'm too powerful to be stopped. And the boss is like, no, but I'm the boss of the game. And so you have to use the best of your abilities to cancel each other out and then kind of fall. So that's my game. I don't know. I haven't really thought about anything else other than that. I just think the idea of like fighting a bunch of dudes and power-ups and moves is always gratifying. I'll flesh it out one day.
Title?
We'll get there. Title? Oh, shit. I didn't even think about the title.
It's hard, isn't it?
Very hard. It'd probably be something like Smash 'em Up, or like something generic.
Something
like that.
simple, yeah.
Yeah.
That works though for like kind of what you're going for. That's tight.
Yeah, Smash 'em Up. That's what I would call it, because it's not just about matter of beating them up. You gotta smash everything.
It's cool. It's like I like the idea of like the leveling up system. Like it's active and it's like learning a real skill. You're executing to learn. That's like I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a combination of like PlayStation All Stars and like Marvel vs. Capcom.
So cool.
And
it's got a little Golden Axe in there too.
Yeah, Golden Axe and just like Street Fighter kind of. I think the cool thing is like if you can play online with your friends, or you can play local co-op, drop-in co-op, and as you play the characters in multiple runs or playthroughs, everyone has their own unique story, so they go different routes, different parts of the YouTube algorithms, and different mid-bosses and other YouTubers who cause problems for you, and you like resolve your problems, so you become friends, you can play as them.
That's cool.
And I think like if you've worked with these YouTubers would have power-up and combo moves, so like for instance, you know, John and I both love Banjo-Kazooie, so like if John and I are on the same team, we do a super move, like I would turn into the bear and he would become the bird, or vice versa, or like we turn into a mecha Gruntilda and like crash the screen. And so like things like that where YouTubers who have worked together in the past and continue to have synergy, you know, Jirard and I probably become pro Jirard the Finishist and like, you know, do some Dragon Ball Z shit, things like that where you're rewarded for knowing the knowledge of the character you're playing with, and then like, you know, maybe it could lead to newer possibilities. So again, I've thought some of it out, but I'll get there one day with the full-fledged aspect of it. So let's end today's podcast with one more comment. This is from Timothy Garay. Garay, G-A-R-A-Y. Hello, Jirard, Brett, Chris, and Al. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Jirard, you are the one YouTuber that has inspired me in many ways, one of which involves psychology and YouTube and helping YouTubers' mental state based on the comment you answered in the previous podcast. I love your content and the people you work with. The question I have for you today is about Game Lab, the show you appeared on with MatPat. Oh, yeah. So, to give you guys some background, earlier this year in January, I took a really big tour bus up to Northern California, and I got to siege a castle for Honor for the For Honor episode of Game Lab. And Game Lab is MatPat's YouTube Red show where it's like testing games in real life and math and science and acting them out. And so ours was on For Honor, a game that's not out yet. And so Alex and I were Team Vikings, Matt and his team were Team Knights, and we fought in the rain, and it was awesome. So I wanted to ask if you could detail and elaborate your experience on the show and the episode about For Honor. It was awesome to see, but I would like to hear how it was for you and how it all went down for you. Things like that. Things like what was your state of mind there? Was it rough? Or your expectations, surprises, all the things that happened, and if you could do it again. Matt had a special episode about all the guests, but not enough about any individuals. So I wanted to ask you personally. I love you, Jirard. I love you, man. You're an amazing content creator and one that I look forward to watching whenever something new comes along. And to your friends, Brett, Al, and Chris, keep up the good work, guys. Thank you for your question. That was a really awesome comment, Timothy. Yeah, I could talk about Game Lab a little bit. I can talk about how... I'm trying to think. Sorry, I'm trying to get a little more comfortable because I've been sitting awkwardly in this chair for about an hour now. Game Lab was a lot of fun to make. We had a couple days of rehearsals for the routine. Not really for the routine, really to just learn how to hold a sword. That was the big thing. This episode got roasted a lot across the internet, and some people out there were really, really, really antagonizing Matt and the crew behind that episode. There was a guy who made a video about it, and I watched it, and like he was right, but he also was kind of like not understanding what the aspect of this show was, or at least this particular episode. And that this episode, for lack of a better term, was about stage combat. It wasn't necessarily about, you know, how knights would hold their swords or how Vikings would hold their weapons. It was about being able to learn a routine and perform that routine, and the element of surprises and elements were, albeit scripted, it was more about us performing as performers, because we had to learn how to hold the sword, how to fight, how to attack, and how to deal with everything. And so that episode was a lot of fun to work on because it kind of reminded me of my old acting days where I had to sit there and learn how to hold a sword and act and you know, really work with your partner and your other person you're fighting or communicating with, and, you know, hamming it up. You know, like for instance, if I go and choke Chris and Chris grabs my hand and acts like I'm really hurting him, I'm not actually choking Chris. He's choking himself with my hand, but he's controlling every aspect of it. And that's something that that was very important, that when we had those moments of like hair pulling and things like that, and headbutts and things like, it was about listening to the other person. And so that whole experience was fun. The drive up there wasn't too bad. The drive down there was drive back was a bit horrendous just because it was really long. But we got up at 5 a.m. We went to the castle. It was raining for the most part. We had hours of makeup and dress and planning shots, and then we started shooting at about 9 a.m. We shot for about an hour outside in that first section. That was pretty fun. It was hard to focus because we were all... Once the fight was actually happening, where everyone else around us was fighting, the whole thing of it, to give you guys, because you guys haven't seen it, but there were 3 challenges where we had to reenact a scene that we learned. And so the first scene was Alex and I had to race to get to the end and grab the pole. And we lost that scene, spoiler. But it's because I kept my pants weren't good and I kept messing up, and it was just, I was doing really bad the first round. But essentially what kind of came of it was, once they started fighting, we got over fucking whelmed because we had been rehearsing for several hours and seeing them do it. But when everyone starts fighting and then you have to run in the center of a battle scene and then do your routine, it was terrifying because all you hear is yelling and screaming and death and bloodshed and these cool things on the side. And you're just trying to focus on right square, left square, down square, down square, 1, 2, 3, 4 block, 1, 2, 3, 4 attack. Like, you had to get into that mindset, and it's hard to do that when you hear people going like, ugh! And you're hearing swords clash and people falling over, and so it was pretty overwhelming, but it was a lot of goddamn fun. I had an incredible time doing it. I would do it again, albeit I really hope that for season 2 that Alex and I had a good time doing it, but I think... and this is not a 7 map head of the production or anything, but we were gone for like 4 or 5 days. And that time commitment for us really pushed back production. To give you an idea, that week that I shot that, I think it was in March actually, we were doing the Twilight Princess episode of The Completionist, and I had just completed the game before I left to go up there. So I recorded all my voiceovers, I completed the whole game, and as I completed the game and I was done, my second playthrough of Hero Mode, everything completed, everything found, I then got in a bus and I went north to Northern California, and it was super stressful. I wish I had more time to kind of plan things out, but yeah, that was my experience on Game Lab. I'm trying to think of if I didn't answer anything else. So that's it. That's all for today's episode of the That One Video Galaxy podcast. I hope you had a good time. Chris, thanks for being our guest.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate you being here. As we sign out, we try and have like bits that we got on the way out. So, for instance, Al, you're not your final words because it's a different segment. But what was the term we used last week?
Al's words of wisdom.
Al's words of wisdom. Animation Q. Al, some words of wisdom for us, please.
Find turtles before they hatch.
Find turtles before they hatch.
Do turtles hatch?
Do turtles hatch? Al's words of wisdom, everyone. I'm glad you guys were here today, listening to today's episode. We really appreciate it. Keep those comments coming. We are getting them. We're trying to read them all. We appreciate them. We get thousands of them. We really like them. Final word, Chris.
Final word. I just want to say, like, I'm going to get a little sappy because we were all kind of, like, talking about leaving and stuff. I just want to say, like, I really appreciate everything, and you're awesome, and I really care for you, and thank you. I'm trying not to be emotional.
You're hitting me too, man. I'm trying my best. I feel like it looks like I'm trying to take a shit. That's the big thing. I'm just like, thanks, man. I'm still not giving up on keeping you here.
Bank heist.
Bank heist. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I'm going to get, like, black bagged in my apartment.
No. I mean, You won't. Maybe someone else will.
Oh,
we'll
shit.
See. Yeah.
That was dark.
Got real dark. Al, final word.
Can't say anything after that. It's beautiful.
All right. My final word is fuck Kmart. Monster. If you want to...
Wow. Moment ruined. Chris, I love you, but fuck Kmart.
You know,
Why did you have to go there?
Look, I'm just trying to keep...
Has to be a bit every episode.
I'm trying my best to just let everyone at Kmart know that I appreciate them, but fuck you. The idea... So I hope everyone knows this is a joke. The idea of, like, being like, hey, I really like you guys, but fuck you.
You're great, but you're a piece of shit.
Oh, man. No. Chris, we love you, man. We hope you stay around longer than you should. I'm going to work on that. I hope you had fun today, Al.
I did. I hope you did as well.
I did have fun.
This is great.
It was a good time. It may be our most messy podcast, but it was one of my more favorite ones.
Welcome to Filming with Chris.
Filming with Chris. Whoa.
Downright dirty.
Downright dirty.
That actually was not, like, I say a lot of really inappropriate stuff, but that was actually not meant to be that inappropriate.
I got you. That's it. That's all, guys. We'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll be on iTunes by then. I'll let you know. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.